It appears that the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, is having a long overdue comeuppance. 7 years ago, inspired by SPLC's hate map, a gunman walked into the Family Research Council, FRC, in Washington, intending to massacre the staff and then stuffed Chick-fil-A sandwiches in their faces. FRC is among many Christian organizations targeted by the SPLC for pro-family stances. During the 1990s, FRC helped draft the Defense of Marriage Act and defended the right of the military and the Boy Scouts to adhere to traditional morality. Over the years, FRC has produced a mountain of meta-research papers that debunk the many spurious studies fed to the media by the LGBTQ activist movement. It was more than enough to get FRC placed on the Southern Poverty Law Center's hate map, a profoundly defamatory instrument that inspired Floyd Lee Corkins to try to commit mass murder that day in August 2012. The young gay activist would have succeeded and perhaps gone on to other Christian targets on his list if not for the heroics of building manager Leo Johnson, who was shot in the arm but managed to disarm Mr. Corkins and wrestle him to the ground. Mr. Corkins pleaded guilty to 3 felonies, including an act of terrorism, and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. He told the FBI that the SPLC's hate map led him to FRC's door. The SPLC is now ensnared in a scandal that has cost the group its leadership and, it is hoped, its misplaced credibility with law enforcement agencies and corporations. In March, 2 groups of employees wrote letters to SPLC leadership, warning them that allegations of mistreatment, sexual harassment, gender discrimination and racism threaten the moral authority of this organization and our integrity along with it, and that the SPLC leaders were complicit in decades of racial discrimination, gender discrimination, and sexual harassment and/or assault. U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, Arkansas Republican, has written to the Internal Revenue Service asking for an investigation into the tax-exempt status of the SPLC, which he described as a racist and sexist slush fund devoted to defamation. The senator's action came on the heels of the firing of SPLC co-founder Morris Dees for misconduct and the resignation of Richard Cohen, who had been SPLC's president since 2003. The Montgomery, Alabama-based SPLC, which earned a national reputation in the 1970s for taking on the Ku Klux Klan, had been the gold standard for determining what constitutes a hate group.